Joining us on stage next is the Director of Marketing for Avocados from Mexico, Ivonne Kinser.
Now I'm out here looking like revenge, feeling like a 10, the best I ever been. And yeah, I know how bad it must hurt to see me like this, but
So in 2017, Adweek published an article, and they referred to us as Avocados from Mexico boast one of the most dramatic and impressive rises to prominence in recent marketing industry. What most people don't know is that Avocados from Mexico, the organization I work for, was created only 3 years before that article was published. So we are a startup. We think like a startup, and we act like a startup. So I'm going to tell you the story of the Avocado from Mexico disruption, the story that I know that starts in the moment I joined the organization. And that was in 2014, but before that I want to tell you something, another secret that not a lot of people know, and is that we don't sell avocados. We don't. We just market avocados. And we were created by a couple of different organizations, the growers and exporters of Mexican avocados in Mexico, and the importers and distributors of Mexican avocados in the US, with two very clear purpose and missions. Build equity of the Avocados from Mexico brand in the United States, and grow demand of Mexican avocados in the United States. So let's back to 2014 when I joined the organization. I'm in a completely different industry. Actually, I come from the advertising industry. All my life I have been in advertising, the advertising side most of the time. I work with McCann Erickson, Lintas, then on the client side, American Airlines, Hager Clothing. I spent a lot of years in fashion industry, in PR, and then the recruiter of Avocado from Mexico, this new organization that was getting shaped, called me and invited me to be part of the process, the selection process for the head of digital marketing. The first thing that came to my mind was like, avocados. What the heck I'm going to do in avocados? And she, a really good recruiter, by the way, she told me, you know, just believe me, trust me on this one. Go there, talk to their president. It's a very entrepreneurial organization, very forward thinking, so I'm sure you will like it. Go and talk to them. They will explain you all the questions that you have while we're contacting you. And then there I am, sitting in the office with the president, the CEO of Avocado from Mexico, discussing the opportunity. And to be honest, I was fascinated with his vision for the brand, his vision for the organization. And at that point, when I was completely sold, I told him, hey, full transparency, as much as I want to make sure that Avocados from Mexico is a good fit for me, I want to make sure that I'm a good fit for Avocados from Mexico. So I'm very curious about something. Why me? Because why you invited me to be part of this process? Because let me tell you something, I have no experience whatsoever in the fresh produce category. And then he told me that that's exactly what he was looking for. He was looking for someone very creative, with strong digital experience, someone with no experience whatsoever in the fresh produce category, to help him do what nobody else in the industry is doing. And that phrase not only sealed the deal, for at least for me right there, but it also became the foundation of what it is today, Avocados from Mexico Digital. And not only that, it is our north. So everything we do, every plan that we put together, every strategy, we're looking into that, and we're looking to that north. But it doesn't matter how innovative and how creative our digital strategies and campaigns are, we are very loyal to our overarching strategy as a brand. Remember those two goals that we have as an organization? Well, the second one, which is drive avocados demand, early on in the beginning of the organization, we define what is our strategy to get there. And this is important because you are going to see that it doesn't matter how disruptive and creative a campaign can be, it always have to be grounded into the strategy. So back then, when we look at the market, we see 52% of Americans do not buy avocados. So if you look at this from that point of view, then you say, well, it's a no-brainer. It's a household penetration strategy. But then when you look at it closely, and you see that 49% that consume avocados actually are consuming only 3 avocados per month. The benchmark is 7. Then the biggest opportunity is there. That's our opportunity. So our growth strategy is not household penetration, it's share of wallet. And within that share of wallet strategy, we support it with 4 core usages. So we push these messages to increase that share of wallet. And one of those 4, which is our top, or most important, as you're going to see in the rest of the story, is guacamole. That makes a no-brainer for us to go to the Super Bowl with a spot and a digital campaign. So not only avocados is one of the few products that are actually in front of the consumer when they are watching that spot, but it has become a staple in the American table during Super Bowl month, so much that average 200 million pounds of avocados are sold and are consumed during Super Bowl month. That's a whole lot of guacamole. And just to put it to you in perspective, I'm a very visual person. I need to see how things look like. I'm going to put that for you in perspective. Imagine this stadium. Imagine that stadium cover from end to end with guacamole. Now raise that 10 feet from the ground, and that will look like 200 millions of avocados into a gigantic guacamole. So that gave us a reason to participate in the Super Bowl. And then going back to 2014, 1 month into my new role, and I'm tasked with developing a strategy for a digital campaign for the Super Bowl. So the first thing that you do when you go to a battle is to analyze the battlefield. So when I look into what is that Super Bowl digital, who participates, how do they participate, what do they do, how do they win, what are the metrics they are measuring. And analyzing all that, I got to a conclusion. This is it. The Super Bowl digital is nothing else than a gigantic social conversation. And again, let's put that into perspective and taking advantage that we are in the stadium. Imagine all that people. And I picked the Ohio State because it has capacity for over 100,000 people. Now imagine that stadium with all that people, multiply that by 1,000. And that is the amount of people participating on the Super Bowl social conversation. And they are speaking at the same time under one umbrella, which is the topic of the Super Bowl, about different things. They are talking about the teams, about the plays, about the commercials, about the advertisers, about the brands, about the products, but they are all talking in social at the same time. So at that point, I realized that the way to win this, and the brands that are able to not only craft a very compelling message, but also to bring the partners, the talent, the brains, the technology, to get that message and break with such power that can break through that clutter and get into the consumer mind are the ones that are gonna win this Super Bowl digital. So that's how we went into the first year of the Super Bowl. We were that first year the top 2 digital campaign for the Super Bowl. And this is including all the other brands that you know who they are, very great brands, amazing talent, all of them. And we were the top 2 campaign for the Super Bowl. Second year, again, we were the top 2 digital campaign for the Super Bowl. Then the third year, that was 2017, I'm going to get into more detail about that when I brought the case story. Then we went with a campaign called Avos Secrets. Avos Secrets had a lot of connecting tissue with the TV campaign, obviously, but it was created for the digital audiences. So what we did is that we created, that's not those are no apps, that's actually the homepage of our hub, the Super Bowl hub, and those are no apps, are links. And every link take the user to a completely full-blown different experience. So with that, what we wanted to communicate is that avocados were healthy. So that was the message. We have guacamole, we're trying to push, we're trying to increase sales, and the reason to believe, or the reason that we gave is that guacamole is healthy. So I'm going to leave you with a very short case story. In a video, we'll explain a lot better what we did in that campaign and how that strategy resulted.
For years, a secret society kept hidden the incredible benefits of one of the population's favorite foods.
What they do know is that avocados from Mexico have good fats.
So they know they're healthy.
They know everything. Kyle, are you streaming this? Is that not cool?
But one day, a member of the Avocado Secret Society misplaced his phone filled with confidential Avos secrets, triggering the most talked about campaign of the big game. Through avosecrets.com, people were able to hack the lost phone. They could sift through 17 fully functional apps, including confidential voicemails.
Kyle, this is the Illuminati master, Leslie again.
And mystery-revealing Instagram filters. Users could even text back and forth with the Secret Society's leader himself. Avos Secrets existed on every digital and social platform, revealing shocking secrets about avocados. Supporters of the Avos Secrets included Jeremy Piven, Tim Tebow, John Sutcliffe, and John Lovitz.
Come and get it, hipsters.
100,000 brand influencers were recruited to spread the word about Avos Secrets, making it the most popular hashtag in the days leading up to the big game kickoff. During game time, Avocados from Mexico helped spread the whispers on social media. Reactive content to other brands had hashtag Avos Secrets dominating the conversation. Avocados from Mexico became the most mentioned brand of the big game, even with a much lower investment than other brands. Avos Secrets reached 3.3 billion impressions. The Avos Secrets were out, but the most shocking was how a little avocado took on the big brands and won.
So that year, thank you. That year we not only completely dominated the conversation, but also we were top 2 in the Merkle Bowl report. And this is a very significant recognition for us, because for those of you that are not familiar with the Merkle Digital Bowl report, it's a very thorough analysis of what are doing in digital. All the brands, all the advertisers participating in the Super Bowl. So this is our third year for the Super Bowl. This is our third year that we were number 2 or top 2 brand. And if you haven't noticed yet, we're a little bit competitive. So by now we were borderline obsessed with that first place, and we keep trying and trying. However, we were not willing to compromise what we believe in order to get there. So there were things like, for example, they analyze in the display media, which is one of the core areas that they analyze: SEO, paid search, display, and social media. The use of display banners. We don't use banners on our plans. And I say, if I have to sacrifice what we believe, talking about the previous presentation about best practices are just average. If we want to sacrifice what we believe just to follow best practices, we're going to give up the first place. But then we talk to them, things evolve, technology change, and we again go back the following year, again trying, and again borderline obsessed with the first place. So the next year, 2018, again, the superstar, the center of our campaign is again guacamole. I went ahead of myself. I need to mention, most important than anything, those that campaign, how cool it was, how innovative, but it was also the top one, the number one out of all the advertisers in the Super Bowl on purchase consideration. So speaking about getting very, very loyal to our goals as an organization and to our strategy. So it comes to 2018, again, a new campaign. We're concepting to going again with the Super Bowl. We bring guacamole again. This time it's a little bit different. This time we know that 200 million of avocados are consumed every year during Super Bowl, and we know that most people consume guacamole with chips. So what do we want to do to increase that share of wallet? We want to raise awareness of the use of guacamole on other food. Like, for example, we want everyone in America, putting guacamole on their sandwich, on their burgers, and burritos, and hot dogs. So what we do is that create a message, a compelling message that will invite consumers to add guacamole to everything. So what we get from the brand team is the TV concept. The concept in the TV spot is that there is this place, and this is this group of people that create this structure where they seal everything, the best things in the world, they put them inside with them, and they leave the bad out. And then they seal it. So nothing can come out and nothing can come in. And of course, guacamole is in. But there's only one problem. When they seal, they forgot or they didn't notice that the chips were outside. And then the leader of the group tell them, calm down, there's nothing to worry about. The chips are outside, but there's a lot of other things that you can consume guacamole with. There are avocado toast, there are burritos, there are tacos, there are sandwiches, there are hamburgers. And from that idea, we bring that idea we create a very unique and original digital platform. So communicating the same, but it's not necessarily bringing the same story as in TV, but creating something original for digital. So that's how we created our campaign this year. We invited Tabasco. Sometimes we invite partners when it's relevant. And in this case, we basically share a piece of real estate in our digital platform. That's what you're going to see Tabasco in our case story, but this is what we did, and this is what happened.
Close your eyes. Imagine a perfect world that seals the bad out and keeps the good in. That's what we did here at Avocados from Mexico. Pretty unbelievable, right? We created Guac World. Through Guac World's digital platform, users were free to roam around 6 magnificent locations and 14 perfectly crafted experiences. From Avocado Land's photo enhancers to Tabasco Flavor Town's recipe creator. Our 100,000 brand ambassadors recruited new members to guacworld.com, causing our loyal following to grow exponentially. We also combined the selfie and the emoji for the first time ever with Picmojis. These and other traffic drivers resulted in over 46 million video views and 1.7 million page views. And while the Guac World movement was taking off, the moment of truth occurred during the big game. People inside the stadium had access to our Snapchat geo-filters, while we interacted with brands and users on social media in real time. Avocados from Mexico had the most shared logo on both Instagram and Twitter. Guac World was the most mentioned hashtag, and guac was the most used word across all big game conversation. We came out of the big game on top of the world. Avocados from Mexico was the #1 brand in Merkle Digital Bull Report, saw an increase in purchase consideration for a second year in a row, gained 4.5 billion impressions, and claimed their crown as the most talked about brand of the game for a second year in a row. Even after the big game had ended, our following continued to grow.
I don't know if you realize this, you said avocados 10 times.
11 times, Coach.
In the end, the members of Guac World lived happily ever after, knowing that once again, a little green fruit took on the big brands and won.
Avocados from Mexico.
So, that was not supposed to come, but now I tell you a story. So you saw we were first in everywhere. The top most shared brand, the most shared logo, the more shared food photography, and we came again on the purchase consideration as a number one. So this little trophy has a great story behind. And 48 hours after the Super Bowl, the media still hadn't announced who was the top one brand. And we were waiting and waiting. Usually they announce like 24 hours after the Super Bowl. And then it had been 48 hours. We don't know anything about it. I know the CMO of Merkle, that is a company that does this Merkle Bowl report, and I couldn't hold any longer, and I text her via Snapchat, and I say, hey, I'm dying here. I haven't heard anything, and please, 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 if we didn't win, let me know, and I can take it, and I have time to recover it, but I swear I cannot learn through the media. And she texts back that. So for first time, after trying for, this was our 4th year, we were the top one digital campaign in the Super Bowl. And you know very well we were the competitors. So not only we were top in everything, like I mentioned before, but the most important, and it's really, really relevant for us, is this one. Out of all that gigantic conversation, the one that you saw with all that people talking at the same time about everything, the number one word in that conversation was guac. So if we wanted to put guacamole on the map, we sure did it. And again, we were the top one brand in terms of purchase consideration this year as well. So why this is so disruptive, and why the industry is just, the media and the marketing industry is looking at us, because we are the underdog. It's not expected. As we were listening before in the previous keynote, it's unexpected. We don't have a huge manufacturing plant. We are not a big telecommunication company. We are not a multi-billion-dollar CPG. We are just one little fruit. And one little fruit with a lot less resources that most of the competitors for the Super Bowl out there. So I want to share with you a thought, and it is that I believe that digital disruption is not a strategy. You cannot put that on paper and execute it. It is a mindset. And to accomplish things like that with less resources, it has to be something and a drive that comes from within. And you need not only that, but you need the right advertising partners that we have here. My partner, Avos, have been with us from the beginning. So you need that kind of partners that are not only willing, but eager to push the envelope beyond the normal, break the status quo to accomplish that promise that you saw and that we make to ourselves in 2014, which is doing what nobody in the industry is doing. You need technology partners that, like Emoji, here with us as well, that are not only willing to rethink their own technology and tweak it if necessary, and coming up in that period of time with new ways and with new capabilities, only to participate in a high-profile event like this, break through and do something that nobody else ever have done, at least in our own industry. And with that, I want to tell you that we have no options but that. In today's world, advertisers, brands, agencies have only two ways to go. Is you disrupt or you are going to be disrupted. We at Avocado from Mexico, we have chosen to disrupt and have brought the right partners and the right technology and the right ideas and the right talent so we can make that happen. Thank you very much, and please keep reaching for the stars.
Let's welcome back to the stage Anne-Marie Sievertson.
I don't think I've ever wanted guacamole more than right in this moment. Which brings us to our second Maven Award, which is for results. So this category recognizes intelligent pre- and post-analysis, research and bold brand thinking, and it honors the most successful data-driven or consumer insights-focused media plan. The 2018 winner in the results category is Avos, with Richards Lerma for Avocados from Mexico's Super Bowl campaign, done in conjunction with Inmoji, RO2 Media, and Wealthy Mind. And accepting this award today are Bob Galletti from Havas, Ivonne Kinser from Avocados from Mexico, and Michael Afric from Inmoji. Let's get them up here. Congratulations.